Hello, listeners. Good evening. Thank you for joining us once again. This is the Life Coach with Segun Olugbemi, and I'm glad that you followed us thus far. We've been examining the very first law that God stipulated, or the first law of nature at creation, and that is the law of creativity. God said, "Let there be." It says, "In the beginning, God created heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And God said, let there be light, and there was light." So you see, right at the beginning, God created. So that law says, if God is at your beginning, if He is your foundation, then creativity is your natural default. That is your default. That is who you are. That is been installed into you from birth. And so we'll be able to see what creativity is and the process of, creativity. We mentioned a couple of them in last week. We spoke about preparation, incubation, imitation, illumination, and verification. Today we want to go a little further. But just before we get into what we have to say today, I need to remind you that if you have any question or any observation or any support or any suggestion, please call the number that will be read out to you after this teaching. Immediately after the broadcast, an announcer will come in to let you have the numbers. And please, we need your support. We need you to support this work so we can keep teaching, the practical aspect of God's Word. I know that everybody is religious. Everybody wants to pray. Everybody wants to fast. But there are laws built into nature that does not require fasting and prayer. You only need to know how to apply those laws. If you work the principles, they will work. So you only need to know what works and then work them, and they will work for you. That's what we are trying to look at. So today I'm going to move a step further by talking about the fact that everyone has creativity quotient. Everyone, and I mean literally everyone, has creativity quotient. There was this creativity quotient that was developed similar to intelligence quotient, the IQ. It makes use of results of divergent thinking and tests by processing them further. It gives more weight to the ideas that are radically different from other ideas. In that response, they are able to look at how the individuals perform and assess how creative their challenges are. What all this means is that no problem comes with a single solution. There are always multiple ways to solve them, following the principle of mathematics. As there are four ways of solving every mathematical problem, so every life's problem can be solved in at least 4 different ways. I think I said this in my closing remark during our last week episode. In the broadcast, I was letting you see the principle I had adopted many years ago with my children. I remember one of them, he came to me one day, he was still young, and he said, "Daddy, I can't do this. I don't know what to do." And I said, "How many ways have you tried?" And he said, "Well, I just tried this one and it didn't work." And I said, "You came back to me, you are violating major rules of this family. And the rules are, you must try, you can't come to me. The rules are, number 1, try more than 3 ways, before you conclude you don't know what to do. And number 2, you come to me. The 4th, I'm going to give you number 3. Do not repeat the same thing. Next time, you need to be able to find a solution." And you are violating all those rules. You say, "Well, Daddy, if you are telling me I should look for 3 different ways to solve the problem, then I will not need you." Ultimately, I said, "Congratulations. You just got a very powerful revelation there. Daddy doesn't want you to need him every minute. I don't need that. I have got a lot of issues. I have a lot to deal with. You can't keep coming to me for every little thing. That's why God gave you your brain. Go use your creativity." And the young man who was saying that happens to be, one of the creative young men we have in the family. He always had concepts. He's always thinking on new things. But initially, he didn't think he needed to push himself. It is laziness. We all got, you know, we have intelligent quotient, so we also have creativity quotient. We just need to identify which area that this, you know, intelligence can be used. Some of us will never be good geographers because that's not the area we are proficient. But if you put the person in the market, they will do awesomely well. I know a particular young man that, you know, wasn't doing well in school. And, you know, we were classmates in secondary school, in primary school, secondary school, and he was, you know, he was forced to repeat, and he was embarrassed, he was humiliated, and, you know, he was always in the class. He never leaves classes, and the teachers were always there. But he just didn't get it. Today he's a plumber. Man, when he comes to your home and he will look at, he just tells you where the problems are. And he can literally draw the entire diagram of your plumbing work from his head. And once he comes in, he will tell you, this is bad, we're going to run it this way, we do. And then this guy is a genius when it comes to plumbing work. And I said to myself, why is it that we didn't discover this on time? And somebody was beating him, they were, you know, punching him, turned him into a punching bag, and always causing him to repeat, just embarrassing him, while some of us were, you know, pulling our weight academically. He was not that good. But he found his niche, carved his niche, and he's a genius in that. You give him a massive structure, he can literally just sit down, he will draw the entire structure. He will just draw the entire, you know, mechanical work to be able to fix in that thing. So I'm saying that it is time you look at where your creativity quotient is best and begin to develop it. Begin to bring out your ingenuity. Begin to bring out that which God has given to you. And you see, like I said, every problem has multiple ways of resolution. You cannot run away simply because you tried one or two and it didn't work. There is 3, there is 4, there is 5. In mathematics, they will tell you, you solve it through simultaneous, and then if you don't do it, then you use quadratic. If it doesn't work, you use it. And if it doesn't work, then you appeal to almighty formula. An almighty formula must solve every problem. And there is an almighty formula that if you get to a point you don't know what to do, God will show you that. But don't just sit down lazily and say, I don't know what to do. It's too simplistic. You can't just say, I don't know what to do. You know what to do. There's something to do. Think over the problem first. Sleep over it. And if people want to rush you to make decisions, tell them, I'm thinking over it. Take some time, think over it, meditate, ruminate over it, and ask yourself a question. Let me give you an instance. How can I become a millionaire? That today is this is December now. Okay, so this December, whatever, 20-some. But how can I become a millionaire by the end of December 2022? Now this is December 2021. This is a very powerful question. So you now begin to bring forth your creativity and write randomly, no matter how stupid they sound, just write randomly 20 different ways you can generate money without stealing, without falsifying receipts, without inflating contract. 20 different ways you can generate resources, financial resources, by December 2022, and you will be rich. Write them as you are going. Some will look like foolish, they will sound like foolish ideas. Just keep writing, and keep writing. So, well, I'm going to sell this, well, I'm going to partner with this, I'm going to do that. Just continue to do that. And by the time you get to the 20th idea, you come back again and begin to eliminate some of your questions and begin to fine-tune them. By the time you do that process 2-3 times, you're going to come up with something like 3 to 5 sound ideas that you can implement to begin to bring out solutions to problems, and then begin to make money. And this is one of the reasons why humans are consistently dissatisfied and in search of better life and egalitarian society. This is what gives birth to invention, innovation, technological advancement in our world. It is this mindset to change the status quo. As long as this world subsists, man will always be engulfed with the quest for better answers, faster solutions, easier steps, instant gratification, through creativity. If you are old enough, about my age or older, you likely learn your metric, system by heart. we move from the imperial to the metric system, and you learn the imperial by heart, you learn the metric system by heart, and you know your timetable 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 4, and 12 times 4. You have to learn it by heart, and before you go for what we call PT those days, that's physical training, before you did that, you had recited these. And you have gone through that every morning, so that you have to put this into your brain. And when we were doing our mathematics, we used what we call 4-figure table, and you have to go into your logbook, look for your sines and cosines. Right now, everything is in a computer. It's in what do you call it? It's in a calculator. It's a scientific calculator. You just punch it, and you punch so and so to do this, sine this and cosine that, and it gives you exactly what you want, just like that. Because somebody thought that continually going through the long route is not going to get us the answers we want faster. And so we began to invent some things. What about the means by which we travel? We trekked, then we went on donkeys, then we went on horses, then we went on bicycles, then we went on motorcycles, and then we began to go on car, and then we began to go by aeroplane. And then we had Concorde jet that was reputed to be able to make the journey between London and New York in 4 hours. It was moving at the speed of sound. Before they discontinued the production, it was moving at the speed of sound, Concorde jet, and he just took it off. And that was it. Man had created these ideas in order to limit our challenges, in order to limit our stress. I still remember the day that God gave us money, and then I told my members, well, I went somewhere and, I got some money, and I bought them electric typewriter, and I said, we have electric typewriter in our church. I know. We moved from manual to electric, and everybody celebrated. And it wasn't even at the end of that year. We moved to word processor. Then 386, 486, then we moved to Pentium 1, Pentium 2, Pentium 3, Pentium 4. And today, computer is as small as your telephone. You read your mails and you can just send through Bluetooth and it's printing. You see how the world is. So someone is looking for an egalitarian society. We want instant gratification. We want easier solution. You know, when we went to secondary school, you know how we had to write letters. You're going to have to anticipate how long it takes for the letter to get home, and it's going to get to your village by 28 days time. Then your father is going to reply maybe after a week, and it's going to take this, so that you are not stranded when other students have graduated and going home. You are in boarding school, and so you're going to have to arrange to make sure that you send your letter on time, so there's a time to write, so that your postal order can arrive on time for you to claim your money and be able to transport yourself home. All that fizzled by technology. With technology, you don't need all that. I knew many years ago, I'm talking about 20-something years ago, I had some pastors who were in different, locations, different cities, and they pastor our churches there. And I'm their general overseer, and I'm sending salaries now. And so I'm telling them, every one of you have to open an account with Unibank, since we have a bank account there, and they open with First Bank because this is where we kept money. And they open this account, and I'm saying to them, you can expect your money. Then I'm going to the bank now, and I'm talking to bank manager, and he says to me, tell them to expect their salaries in 1 month's time. And that was why that's how we're paying the people. Then after a while, I got good news. I went to send their salary, and I'm told that the salaries will arrive in 21 days. Oh my God, what a joy, what an excitement. Then later they said, oh, it has improved. It's going to be 14 days, bank to bank. Same bank with different branches in different cities. When it became 7 days, oh my God, we danced, we celebrated that a bank of a Unibank or a branch of First Bank can pay your staff in 1 week time. Wow, what a wonderful God we serve. Until it became 3 days, until it became a couple of seconds. You just take your phone, you thumbprint or whatever it is, put in your biometrics, and then your application opens, and you make your transfer. All that less than a minute. And the person in the US, the person in Lagos, any part of the world can receive that transfer instantly. That's the way the world has come for, because somebody is constantly looking at how to make the world a better place, how to make our difficulties, how to solve them faster, how to make things easier, how to, meet with our instant gratifications and, gratification and, faster solution to problems. And this is what I'm trying to say, that the world, and don't tell me that there are no areas where we need help now. There are still so many things that we need help with, especially in third worlds, especially in developing countries like ours. There are many areas we need help with. There's so many ideas out there that can make things, better for the people. Means of transportation, means of taking care of environment. I suggested to some people in the year 2004, 2005, I spoke to a man in 2006. I told him, I said, you need to go home, go now, and I'm going to give you my card. Use me as, your referee, as your guarantor. Go to A, B, C, D. These people they do not have enough time to go to market. Go do shopping for them. Do this for them. Go and do this. I told another one, go and do landscaping. Do this. All those they never did. I saw it as 2003, 2004, 2005. I was teaching them. They did not respond. Today, you order a meal from your application on your phone. Today, the same guys are still as poor as they. If they took those counsel when I taught them years ago, before everybody came around, they would have become millionaires, ever before everybody's eyes became open to it. And so this is where we're having issues. A lot of us, and especially religious folks, oh, I have an idea, I want to fast and pray. Please, Pastor, Daddy, Bishop, pray for me. And just pray for me that, excuse me, if you have an idea, a creative thought, and you don't know what to do, you need to talk to people who know what to do. If your bishop doesn't know what to do, your pastor doesn't know, you have no business talking to them. Go to people who are into that business. Go to people who are doing things, who understand creativity, and then begin to talk to them. Begin to share with them. Begin to teach them what to do. Recently, I called somebody, and I said, I need to see you. He said, no, my pastor, I'm coming to see you. How come to you? And he came to my house and said, I have about 21 questions for you. How did you make your money? Talk to me. How do you do business? How can I be as rich as you are? What do I need to do? What steps do I need to take? How do I relate with this? How about this? And all that. And he put me in classes. He coached me for 2 hours. And then we went back to his office the following week. And then he coached me again. And then we began to move into something. And some of the things he taught me, I'm executing them. I'm doing. I say, oh, this is easy. Oh, I understand. This is what my teacher was saying. And you just need to put yourself in the hands of people who have tried those things. And they can open your understanding to be able to execute some of these things. That is how you develop your creativity quotient. You see, creativity and diversity are divine attributes of God. They are divine attributes of God that God has given also, or has also put into us, creativity and diversity as divine attributes. Now, let me try to explain what I'm trying to say here. A lot of us don't understand. One of the distinct characteristics of God is his creativity as well as his diversity. God is so diverse. Look at look at Africans. I've traveled a little bit. And any part of the world I'm in, if you are from Africa, I can tell. If you are from East Africa, I can tell. If you are from North Africa, I can tell. If you are from West Africa, I can tell. And in fact, if you are from Nigeria, I can tell without you saying anything. Just seeing your face, I can tell. That's how diverse God is. I remember about 13 years ago or something. I was in one country, one European country or so, and I was flying from one of the countries to another, and I saw everyone in the plane was white except one black guy. So as we were all boarding, I looked and I said, nobody is like me here. Then I saw a black guy at the back, so I decided not to board. I waited for him. And immediately I saw his face, I said, this guy is a Nigerian and is from the eastern part of Nigeria. And as soon as he came around and I said, hello, he said, my brother. And I said it. I knew that. Once I see your face, I can tell if you're a Cameroonian, I can tell if you're a Nigerian, I can literally pick if you're a Ghanaian, I can pick. Because God is so diverse. He's giving us a particular visage that everyone can, they fit into something. That is one of the attributes of God. So the creativity and diversity of God is expressed in creation, in the uniqueness of all species, and the distribution of nations and their resources, their wealth, individual giftings, talents, life experience, life itself. All of these things are the explanations we have for God's diversity. Therefore, if God is at your beginning, creativity is inevitable. For a moment, let us consider the number of skin colors among the human race. René Lessing in 1847 presented a division of 6 groups based on simple color adjectives: white, which is Caucasian; dusky, India; orange color, Malay; yellow, which is Mongoloid; red, that is Carib and American; and black, the Negroid. So think of the shades of soil. And now today, look at the shades of colors we have. You have literally double or triple these. You're not talking about 6, you're not talking about 12 or 15. We just diverse color all over the world. Think of the shades of soil we have. We have black, we have brown, we have red, we have gray, we have white. Again, think of how many languages spoken throughout the world. About 6,500 around the world, with about 500 of those spoken in Nigeria alone. Can you imagine that? Nigeria alone, we have that. Look at let's say the Yoruba nation. Look at the Hausas, for instance. If you go to Sokoto, you go to Kano, you go to Maiduguri, you can literally see that there are differences. And then why this one is saying one, this one is saying one guy, this one is saying one, this one is saying one chen, and all that. And then you begin to see different variations of the same language. Look at the Yoruba language, for instance. You look at the variations. Look at the general one we speak, which books are written and read in. And then look at Egba, look at Ijebu, look at Kaba, look at Ekiti, look at Ondo, look at Egun, and just all over the place, the variations. In Nigeria, over 500 of those languages are spoken. So diversity is an excellent way to express God's creativity in blending all that our planet is made of together in one. God made man in his own image, according to Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. He created them male and female. And a critical analysis of that will give us understanding of how much of God's nature was installed into man at inception. He made man in his own image, according to Genesis 1:27. God created man in his own image. In the likeness of God, he created him, and male and female, he made them. In other words, when God was creating, we're talking about his image. We're also talking about his likeness. What does that mean? Number one, God made man in his image, meaning man was going to possess the ability to procreate. He will advance the cause of creation and human evolution through progressive reproduction and expansion. There's also another thing you need to say about that. Number two is that man was also going to be empowered to create his own world by a proper management in alignment with the Creator's plan and his purpose, as well as his worldview. In other words, you're going to be able to create your world to give you the concept that you really want. A couple of days ago, I had 2 young men who visited me, and I had some recordings to do. We had some online presentations to do, and you can see that on our YouTube channel, Segun Olugbemi channel. And we needed to do something. And so we set up all our cameras, we set up our lights, and we said, what are we going to do? Are we going to use the library, or we use the living room, or what are we going to use? And we decided, okay, the dining is a good place to use. And in a jiffy, less than 1 hour, we converted the entire dining to a studio. And you will come there, you will think you are in real life studio. And I said to the young people, I said, did you see what God says? He has made us in his own likeness. I said, what you just did here now is that you've created a world for yourself. In one moment, it was a dining. In the next moment, it became a studio. Creating your world. That is how ingenious man is. that man has been equipped to create his own world. You can create your own world. Creativity was going to become the bedrock of human achievements. By that process, man was empowered to turn the entire planet into a garden, the prototype of his habitat at creation. I don't have enough time to explain this. I'm sure in subsequent study I'm going to do that. That God gave man a prototype, a garden, as a prototype. You know what a prototype is? It is the sample that you want to build. The entire world was going to be jungle, but I'm giving you a garden. And if you will live in consonance with my instruction, in accordance with all that I've instructed you, then you are going to change the world. You're going to convert the world to something like this prototype, this garden. And God had to give him that creativity to be able to convert his world to a garden. Unfortunately, man did not do a good job at it from inception. But take this from me, that you can create your own world. You can change your environment. If you don't want it, then change it. And you won't change it by just talking about it. You won't change it by just keeping things like, you know, recently I had a spat with someone. I was driving and this guy ate, he was eating granola. Somebody in the car was eating peanuts and was littering the street. Another one ate banana, was throwing off the leaf. Another one was eating sugar cane. And I had to accost them and I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? You see on the television, it's, oh, the street of Los Angeles, oh, this is beautiful. I said, somebody was responsible for creating that. You cannot continue to litter this and say the government did not employ people to do that. I said, you need to be creative about the use of this. Why don't you have a bag, a little nylon bag in your car, and then and drop those things there? Why don't you put a little waste bin there? Why don't you put it in your boot? Why don't you do this? We need to be creative as to how to help our communities. Unless we begin to dig deep, we're not going to get that. It's unfortunate that our time is gone again today. I'm unable to go further, but we continue on this law of creativity next week at the same time and the same channel, and I will be here to discuss these things with you. And until that time, remember to keep practicing kingdom principles for kingdom results. Tell your family and friends, share this with them. Go to our Telegram platform, download these things, or our YouTube, download them and bless your family and your friends with it. Give them, send them out as gift. You have copyright to it. I've given that to you. You can go ahead and do that. We need your support. Please call the number and let's get your feedback. And then, you know, send in your gift through the number that we send it here. God bless you. Until next time, keep practicing kingdom principles so you can get kingdom results.